Good morning everyone, welcome to Vlogmas day 14. Only a few more to go, so thank you for bearing with and watching. Today we are going to head into Greenwich. For anyone that doesn't know, Greenwich is a really lovely part of southeast London, and it's a really pretty part of London. It's very much like a little town, and every Sunday they have a little market in the middle of the town, and it's a really lovely place just to wander around. So we thought we'd take you there, see what's going on, and maybe take you up to the hill where the Observatory is and show you the view of London. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Thank you for so much love on yesterday's video. I love reading through the comments. Obviously, I found it quite hard to respond to everyone, so I do read your comments, so thank you guys for commenting, and I will try and work my way through them, but trying to do this daily is quite a lot, so I'll work through them as best as I can. But you guys seem to really love the chatty section of our vlogs, so if Chad's up for it today, I'll try and get him to chat some more, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So we're going to head on out to Greenwich right now. I think we're going to drive because it'll be a bit quicker, and I shall pick you up when we are there. Right, so we have arrived in Greenwich. I've just had to pay £15 for 3 hours parking, which is absolutely disgraceful. Thank you, London. And I had to pay my congestion charge yesterday, £17.50. And I also made a mistake yesterday as well, parking in Islington, so I had to pay £28 for 10 minutes.
Basically, London is kind of a very, shall we say, left-wing green city. And so they're just trying to penalise anyone for driving. Yeah. So the goal is if you don't have a certain car that meets a certain standard, they'll fine you. If you drive in a certain area, they'll fine you. Every road's a 20, every road has speed bumps, so being a driver in London is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, don't do it. But let me just show you around where we are actually.
Greenwich is a very naval part of London, so this is where a lot of the naval academies used to be. I think it's more universities these days, but you'll see these incredible buildings that used to be naval schools. It's home of the Cutty Sark, which is a very sort of historic ship. Wooden ship, that is, and it's home to Greenwich Observatory, which is where Greenwich Mean Time, did I say, is it Mean Time? I think it is. GMT, the time zone, is where it comes from, so the observatory's up there as well. So this is a really great part of East London, Southeast.
For anyone shouts.
And yeah, lots of amazing little pubs. There's a market on today as well. So
and the architecture is really lovely, so let me spin you around. So this here is part of the
old naval schools.
The old naval schools. It's absolutely humongous. We'll walk through it in a second, but we're just going to go down this street here.
To an old famous pub.
Which, yeah, this pub, everything looks a bit depressing in this time of year, but this in the summer is stunning. It has a massive wall of flowers, and it's just really nice. It's a really old London pub, and everyone's sat outside drinking, eating. Really lovely part of Greenwich.
So it's basically usually covered in hundreds of hanging baskets, and they're all flowery in the summer. I'm not sure what it's like in winter.
I don't know, but it's
called the Trafalgar Tavern.
I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you can see all the hanging baskets down here. But in the summer they're really pretty, full of flowers.
Okay, so apparently Chad has an interesting fact about a flag.
It's just, I think it's fun to sometimes talk education, but a lot of people call the British flag the Union Jack, and it's only a Union Jack when it's on a ship. When it's not on a ship, it's a Union flag. And if you've ever wondered what the British flag is made of, it's basically the Scottish flag, the English flag and the old Irish flag put together, one on top of each other. So the British flag is made up of 3 flags. You have the Scottish flag, which is the blue and white St Andrew's cross. You then have the English St George's cross, which is the red one, and then the old Irish flag, which is like a red sort of St Andrew's cross, and then they're put together. So that's it. And another fun fact is that I forgot it. No. Britain was actually formed by the Scots. So after, you've probably watched Braveheart and seen all the wars between Scotland and England. Eventually, after the English didn't really succeed long term, they united the crowns, which is what it was called, and basically the Scottish royals, the leaders of Scotland, which were the Stuarts, became the royals of Great Britain and the leaders. So the Stuarts, you probably know from British history, went on to lead the UK for a number of generations. And that's how Scotland and England came together.
Very interesting.
And then Wales and Northern Ireland joined after.
Okay, so then as soon as you come out of that place, you're then into basically Greenwich town, and this is where all the shops are, all the little markets are. So we're going to walk around here and show you guys around. So I went for a normal bao bun with Korean chicken. Chad's got Korean chicken?
Yes, and Cajun chips.
And Cajun chips.
With a honey mustard sauce.
With a honey mustard sauce. We literally watched Braveheart 2 days ago, and Chad was just saying this would be like a little reenactment for him. I think you should get it. £65. Okay, so we're on our explorations of Greenwich, and Chad's just come across another blue plaque. So this one is for Benjamin Woe,
What?
founder of the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, lived here. Very lovely house. It's just literally right opposite the park of Greenwich Park. We're going to do a quick walk up to the hill to give you guys the view, but first we just wanted to walk down these little streets because this little crescent in here is really, really beautiful.
Crescent is a circus.
I thought it was a crescent. Sorry, it's Gloucester Circus. But this is a really lovely little circle of houses. So this is the beautiful crescent of Georgian townhouses, I guess. They're literally what Chad and I dream of living in. Really beautiful old buildings.
That's still a house. They're usually all turned into flats, so
I
that's
don't
really
know.
nice.
Do you think there's that one there? So that's all. Oh, that's all one house. And then, obviously, they're all. That's another house. There might be flats on the inside though. You never know.
Well, probably they're conservation, so they can't be turned into
Possibly.
flats.
But there's a really lovely park in the middle.
And then a not so lovely.
And then obviously it's London, so on the other side there's a not so lovely park. But it is still a lovely area to live in. So. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me just try and zoom in. Chad, hold on. I think it's there.
It's behind the O2.
I feel like it's here we used to live.
Behind the O2.
I know, I'm just trying to point it on my phone.
Oh, I see.
There. So this is the Royal Observatory, where they invented time.
We actually came along.
I was going to say, it's been such a long time since we've been here. This whole pavement used to be mud, and every time you used to walk up and down it, you just used to slip everywhere, but now it's paved, so very much more accessible. Okay, so I feel like we're nearly done at Greenwich. I think we might just go to the Cutty Sark.
I'll show you the ship.
We'll show you the ship. It's called the Cutty Sark. Not sure what it was there for. As we all know, our history on London is not the best. Chad's a bit better than me.
It was the famous admiral. What's he called?
Napoleon.
No.
Nelson.
Yes, I think it was his ship, wasn't it?
No idea. I might do a quick Google just so you guys don't make fun of us. But yeah, I think we're going to head towards the Cutty Sark.
We always wing history, you notice that?
We do.
And then there's always some smart ass in the comments and corrects you.
Literally. So we're going to head on over there now. I feel like they're having a charity event on where they're all dressed up as llamas.
Scottish one.
Oh, there we go.
Christmas to Scotland.
So we are back from Greenwich, and we didn't take Dougal because we thought it would be really busy there. So it would have actually been a really nice walk for Dougal to go all around the hill and around the town. But we're just going to take Dougal for a walk now to give him some exercise. There he is in his little matching Barber jacket with me. Dougal!
Mind if he tells her off?
He hasn't got a bad bone in him.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Okay, that's a bit different.
No, that's only a dominant.
it's the wrong end. So
So, yeah, she was playing with this XL bully, and he was so big, she could walk underneath him without...
Really? There's quite a few around here, isn't there, the XLs?
He was 11 months old, and he just did this play bow. And then they just played. And he had the biggest set of bollocks I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I was so
XL bully.
XL bully.
XL's relevant, isn't it?
I mean, I'm in the 1900s, but this was a really good show. The owner was very proud, like
Okay.
trainer, so he knew what to do.
Come on, Dougal. Right, so we are back for round 2 of wine chats, guys. You guys seemed to have really liked it yesterday, so we're going to do a shorter version today in response to some lovely comments that we received yesterday evening. So many of you were so lovely, so thank you everyone for your lovely comments. But to the few of you that weren't,
It's okay.
it's okay. We're fine with that. It really doesn't affect us that much.
Not at all. I think it's two things. Like, when you put your life on the internet, you are a fool if you don't expect negative comments, right? I don't know what sort of safe space you think you live in. Like, you're literally putting yourself out to complete strangers. Not everyone's going to like you or like what you say. So I think for us, we're also very thick-skinned people. It's not an issue. And I think sometimes it's not even negative comments. It's just comments that keep you grounded. You know, some people just might not like things we do or what we do, and it's okay to share that opinion. If we don't like things, we'll share it. I get called grumpy all the time because I give very candid feedback. So don't ever be afraid to say, you know, you don't like something or you disagree with something. That's absolutely acceptable. But then you do get the odd weirdo. And one of them was a comment where someone said, how is it possible you're viewing these houses without your own house being on the market? Which is a good question. And then some weirdo replied to that saying, yeah, something is very fishy here. Conspiracy theorists, right? But to give you clarity on how it works, so essentially in London, when you are viewing a property, you don't technically need to show proof of funds at that point. Estate agents are not taking you one-on-one and giving you the special treatment and all the rest of it. they will have open days. So they will say this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. we'll be there, come and then go and then put in your offers. So in that time, 50, 100 people may turn up, go in and out, and that's how it works. There's no special relationship, you're just in and out, and they're there to answer some questions if you have it. The only time they will ask you to show proof of funds, so your bank balance or your mortgage in principle or something, is when you put an offer in. So they will never send an offer to a client until they prove that your offer is legitimate, that you have the money to back it up. So yeah, if anyone's wondering, that's typically how it works. So yeah, technically speaking, someone who can't afford the house but just wants to go and look at nice houses could turn up and go in. We are serious about buying it. We're not just turning up to houses. But it's worth remembering that estate agents are, we were talking about this, like they're not on your side.
They're not working for you.
They're not working for you. They're working for the seller. Their goal is to get as much money as possible. I think it's usually two ways. One is an estate agent will take a commission. So the more they sell the house for, the more they will get. And some other firms just take a flat fee and they're not incentivized necessarily.
But even then, the higher the amount.
To do that. But they'll look better. The higher they get it, the client will love them, right? So I think one of the best pieces of advice I would give is always keep your cards close to your chest. So when you go into a property, don't spill everything to the estate agent, because again, they're not working for you, they're working for the seller. I think one of the best bits of business advice I can give, in my experience, is always be okay with walking away. There are so many times where people are afraid to walk away because they're like, oh, what if I don't get it? Or, I feel like I need to do a deal, I can't leave empty-handed. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is go in and say, this is my offer, take it or leave it, I'm going to go away, I look forward to hearing from you. 9 times out of 10, and that's whether you're buying a car, whether you're buying a house, whatever it may be, 9 times out of 10, if it's a serious offer, they will come back to you within 24 to 48 hours. But if you sit there quickly then, and I've made this mistake before, you're basically showing your hand, and you'll kind of be forced into a situation. So yeah, we always keep a very high level, sort of vague update to the estate agents when we see them.
Yeah.
I think another thing is do your research. Like
massively.
When you go into a house, either you'll get 2 types of estate agents. Either they don't know anything, they're like, this is going to sell, I don't need to study this house and know the ins and outs, and they'll struggle to answer your questions. Or you'll have the one who really knows their stuff and will tell you. But again, they will fib. Estate agents often fib, like, oh yeah, I've sold loads of houses on this street. No, they haven't. Or, oh yeah, houses are all selling for this price around here. No, they're not.
Yeah.
A prime example is the second house we saw yesterday was up for 1.8, and we both agreed that would make sense if the house was renovated to a really high standard for the area. And then we saw that in the last year, houses have sold for like 200-300k cheaper than that, and they were much nicer inside. Yeah. And basically, this homeowner is just greedy, and the house has been there for I think 6 months. We found out from the estate agent. It's no wonder why. So we went in there kind of upon hindsight. We didn't do as much research on this one, but we clearly found out that that's way overpriced. It's not going to sell. They will come down, and so that's a situation where you would just go in confidently under asking and say, this is my offer, because they're asking too much. And again, if it's been on the market for 6 months, they're probably getting frustrated and maybe even rushed to sell. So that's where you have leverage as a buyer. And you do that kind of knowledge, you look at how long it's been on the market, you compare it to others on the street, you look at the wider area, and then you go in with the upper hand, as opposed to being blind and then being misguided by estate agents or others.
Second question sort of feeds into this one. It was more so like your house isn't up for sale yet, why are you looking at other houses? And it sort of feeds into this, what we were just saying. So open houses, I think this is since COVID that open houses have worked in this way. But basically, say if you go to an open house in London on a Friday, sorry, Chad needs a gulp of wine.
Important.
If you go to an open house on a Friday, you view it, you then give your offer on a Saturday, Sunday. They ask for finals.
Yeah.
And then within 2-3 days, they have an outcome and they know if the house is sold or not. And it's very similar to the area that we're in. Houses go up on a Friday and by the Monday they're sold. So we have we hopefully have no concerns that our house won't sell, because the area is the same. Houses sell so fast.
It's not even a question. In this area, houses sell within 3 days, and they always are either asking or over asking.
Yeah. But I don't think there's one that's gone for
I don't think there's one that's done to this standard, which is why the estate agent was like, even though it's less bedrooms than others, you're going to get the same money because the quality is just so good. So she basically said, like, don't even fret, your house will go in a weekend. You'll go considerably above, you know, what we sort of anticipated. And I think we've got the added benefit as well of this platform, right? We have the house is, I hate to sound arrogant, but the house is kind of, you know, famous
in the
interiors world. Whether it's TikTok, it's got millions of views racked up, Instagram, millions of views, YouTube. So I think at the same time we have that added superpower of when we were going to sell this house, we wouldn't have an issue promoting it on here, and you people coming and viewing it, and maybe one of you buying it if you want this house. So yeah, wouldn't be an issue for us. I think the added benefit is, again, we don't mean to sound cocky or arrogant when we say this, but we did buy this house cash, so there isn't a mortgage on this house, and we don't intend for there to be a mortgage on the next one either. I think based on the profit we've made on this house, as well as our other investments, we'd be able to buy cash once again. And that is an advantage. Now, believe it or not, buying cash is more, even in the millions, is more common than you think in London. It's not as big of a superpower, but it puts you miles ahead of someone who's maybe gone a little bit higher than you in their offer, but they've got a mortgage and it's going to take 3 to 6 months for that to go through. Whereas with a cash buyer, it can be done in a few weeks in terms of contracts, exchange, surveyors in. So I think there's that added power where even if you go in a bit lower, you might be more strategic in saying, well, yeah, I'm going to go under offer, I'm going to be slightly under, but I'm paying cash and you'll have the money in your bank in a few weeks. And again, the amount of houses that go through the mortgage route and then they fall through. So
many fall through.
The owners spend 3-6 months thinking, God, my house is about to sell, and then they pull out last minute or the bank declines it and they're back to square one. So again, there's more cash buyers than you think in London, but that is an added benefit I hope we'll have in our negotiating. And yeah, that's just, again, being transparent. Oh, I did want to address, you probably noticed we are drinking wine out of tumblers. These are very nice tumblers, don't get me wrong, they're from Zara Home, very good. But we've smashed all of our wine glasses. Or the dishwasher.
Bad. We smashed them. Basically, it's because all the glass is so thin.
They're so cheap.
I don't know what they call it, like Luigi something.
I don't know. The thing is, they're not cheap. They're expensive to bloody buy, but they're so cheaply made that the slightest little knock in the dishwasher and it smashes in two. So if you can recommend any lovely wine glasses, because we need some before Christmas because we're hosting.
Yeah, these are the glasses from Zara Home. I really want to find a wine glass that's like this. It's quite thick and I really enjoyed that. I know you probably shouldn't have a thick glass for wine.
How would you describe, because it's quite like unlevel and bumpy around the tops, the surface, and then even the pattern. How would you describe that? It's not ribbed, it's...
I don't know, speckled?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very odd and I really like them, but we would love to find wine glasses like this. Zara Home don't sell them, but they do sell these. So I quite like these, you quite like these.
But yeah, we hope you learned something. So we hope you now know that to view a house in London, you don't need to have your house in the market or show all the money you have. It's only when you're making an offer that you need to do that. What else did we discuss? You now know about doing the kind of research we go into before going in, because it gives us the power going in there, knowing everything instead of just being blind and getting caught out. Just the difference between sort of cash buying and mortgage and how that can be an advantage. I mean, obviously it's an advantage, but just breaking it down.
Yeah, and wine glasses.
And wine glasses.
That's all we have to talk about tonight, guys.
I'm going to make pasta.
Chad's going to make
You're going to edit this video.
I'm going to edit this video together. I'm a bit late today, so sorry everyone. But yeah, that is today's video, over and out. I hope you have a lovely Sunday evening and we shall see you tomorrow. Well, Chad won't be seeing you. Chad's very busy next week, so you'll be seeing less of his face, more of my beautiful one.
So prepare for less views, less likes, less comments. I won't be there, I'm afraid.
It is what it is, guys.
I'm there in spirit, don't worry.
He's there in spirit, and I will probably drag him in for a question or two at some point. Sorry. I was going to say, had the same thought then. If you have any questions, have we said this already? I feel like we said this.
That's why I just clocked.
If you have any questions, ask them away. It doesn't have to be, it can be anything. I don't want to like specify it. It can be literally anything at all. As open as you want to be. Obviously, we won't answer everything. There will be some things we won't answer. But we struggle sometimes to think about what you would like to listen to or what you'd like to hear.
The more interesting, the better. It's like I said, we're not your typical. I mean, I'm not an influencer at all. I'm a plus one, right? But we're not we're not fake people. We're no BS people. We'll try and be always transparent and honest, and sometimes you'll like it, sometimes you won't. That's okay. The more interesting, the better. So yeah, don't be shy if there's things you want to know, and again, within reason.
Within reason.
And yeah, we'll try and
ask away.
Add this segment to videos, maybe at the weekends, because we don't drink during the week.
Yeah, so wine chats will be a new Saturday, Sunday thing. Maybe. Oh.
That's a good time to end it.
It's a good time to end it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a lovely Sunday evening. We shall see you next week this will be the final week of Vlogmas.
I won't see him next week, I'll see him tomorrow.
Oh my god, yeah, sorry, I didn't even get a break. Yes, I shall see you guys tomorrow for another video. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy. See you later.